You know that feeling? Summer vacation's coming up.
Oh, yeah. That excitement.
Exactly. You picture like adventure, chilling out, making those big memories, right?
Definitely. It's this huge cultural thing, the getaway, the family time.
Totally. We all think of, I don't know, perfect photos, beaches, big road trips. But what happens when, well, the money just isn't there for that perfect trip?
Yeah. That's often when the real creativity has to kick in, sometimes in really surprising ways.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. A story from Kelly Clarkson that's, well, it's funny, it's kind of sweet and super relatable, I think. All about her childhood and how her mom handled, not affording those typical family vacations.
And we're pulling this from a couple of places. There are bits from a YouTube transcript of her show, the one from June 12th, and also an article in People magazine that ran on June 14th, 2025, which kind of picked up the story.
So our mission here for this deep dive is to really unpack Kelly's story, get into the why behind her mom's unique approach.
The very unique approach.
Yeah. And see how that whole childhood thing maybe connects to Kelly's life now as a mom, as a star, and hopefully pull out some interesting little kernels for ourselves too. Okay, let's get into it. So this whole thing came up during a Q&A bit on her talk show, June 12th episode, just, chatting with the audience.
Right. And there was this one woman in the audience. She mentioned she had 2 sets of twins.
Whoa. Okay. Imagine the planning for anything with 2 sets of twins.
Seriously, double the fun, double the, cost, probably. And so this guest asked Kelly what her favorite summer vacation memory was from when she was a kid.
And Kelly's answer was just, bam. So honest. No pretending, no fancy story. She just said straight up, oh, we were poor. We didn't do vacations.
Just like that.
Yeah. She said they just, played in the backyard, which, let's be honest, lots of us have great memories of doing just that.
For sure. But that wasn't the whole story, was it? This is where the mom's resourcefulness comes in.
Okay, tell us of this hack, because it's kind of brilliant.
Well, Kelly explained that since they couldn't actually go places, her mom came up with this really artistic solution, you could say. She'd take Kelly's school picture.
Ah, the classic awkward school photo. We all have them.
That's the one. Maybe with a slightly forced smile. And she'd carefully cut Kelly's picture out.
Okay.
And then she would literally glue it. Kelly said post or paste onto scenic backgrounds.
Wait, backgrounds? What kind of backgrounds?
She mentioned places like the desert, the mountains, even the Swiss Alps.
Swiss Alps? No way.
Yep. And maybe just a nice grassy knoll sometimes. It sounds like maybe pictures from magazines or calendars. And just pop little Kelly right in there.
That is, wow. Incredibly creative. And also, looking back, pretty hilarious. Like her mom's way of saying, see, you went to the Alps.
Exactly. It was her substitute for the real vacation photos they couldn't take, her workaround.
So how did Kelly feel about it then?
Yeah.
How does she talk about it now?
Well, she said she remembers it as this artsy thing her mom did. But she also kind of got, even as a kid, that it was a funny nod to the fact they didn't have those real vacation pics, so her mom just made them.
She had that great line about it, too.
Well, yeah, she laughed and said something like, you can go anywhere, really. You just post yourself there, you glue yourself there. It just perfectly captures the make-do spirit of it all.
You can tell she finds it really funny now.
Oh, absolutely. She even joked she was happy the audience member asked so she could, quote, embarrass her mother and show the world her artistic endeavors. Clearly said with a lot of love and amusement.
What strikes me, too, is that Kelly didn't just tell it like it was some weird, isolated thing only her family did. She made it bigger.
She really did. Right after explaining the photo thing, she said something like, I don't think everybody can afford to vacation, which is just true.
Yeah.
So true for so many people.
Yeah, hits home for a lot of folks. And then she kind of flipped it back to the guest, the one with the twins, asking her, playfully, how do you afford a vacation with 2 sets of twins?
Right. Which just highlights, the real world challenge of it all. Logistics, money.
And the guest's response was perfect.
It was. She joked she was going to start doing the same thing, just posting pictures of her twins at the Swiss Alps.
See. Instant connection.
Yeah.
That shared joke about, making it work or maybe just dreaming about it, it says a lot.
It really does. It kind of makes you think about the pressure, maybe even pressure we put on ourselves to have these big experiences, especially for kids, and how folks navigate that when money's tight.
Okay, so you've got this childhood memory, backyard fun, glued-on Alps trips. Then you fast forward to Kelly now, successful, famous, a mom herself. How does that early stuff connect to well, now.
It's a really interesting contrast, isn't it? Because now she can create very different kinds of memories for her own kids. River Rose, she's 11 now, and Remington Alexander, who's 9.
Right, her kids with her ex, Brandon Blackstock.
Yeah.
And the sources mentioned a specific example, didn't they? A real trip.
Yeah, they did. That trip to Disney World back in 2021. And the pictures were, classic Disney vacation photos, like her and the kids posing with stormtroopers at the Star Wars ride.
Rise of the Resistance. And I think her Instagram caption mentioned Pandora and the Star Wars stuff were big hits.
Exactly. So that's like the full-on lived experience. Very different from the cut and paste version, a tangible memory being made.
But she took it even further, didn't she? Beyond just her own family.
Oh, yeah. The Hawaii trip.
The big giveaway.
Mm-hmm. Back in 2022, on her show, she gave her entire audience.
Everyone there.
Every single person. An all expenses paid vacation to Hawaii.
Wow. That's huge. Yeah. It feels like a real journey from maybe feeling that lack as a kid to being able to give something so big, so generously.
It really does feel like that. And she even commented on it, comparing herself to Oprah. She said something like, I feel like this is what Oprah felt like. I like this feeling. It wasn't just about the trip, but the joy of providing that for other people.
So when you put it all together, the school picture, the Swiss Alps, Disney World, giving away trips to Hawaii.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit packed into this one little anecdote.
There really is. I mean, first, it just shines a light on that incredible parental creativity, right? The love that goes into trying to make things special. Even with limited resources, her mom's hack wasn't just about being poor. It was about imagination, about giving her daughter something.
And it also kind of draws a line between, say, presenting an image of the glued photo, maybe like some curated Instagram feeds today, and actually creating that lived experience.
Right. Both can have value, maybe,
Yeah.
but they're different things. One's aspirational, one's experiential.
Yeah. And maybe the biggest thing is how our past, especially things we didn't have, can really shape what we value and how we act when our circumstances change. Mm-hmm. Kelly going from no vacations to literally giving them away, that feels really connected.
Definitely. It makes you wonder, listening to this, what part of it jumps out at you? Is it the mom's ingenuity, Kelly's openness about money, or that contrast between her childhood and, her adult life?
Or maybe just thinking about how we create special moments. Are we finding creative ways when things are tight? Or what does special experience even mean to us right now? Ultimately, I think Kelly Clarkson's story is just this great little reminder, isn't it? That, having money opens doors for sure for those traditional experiences, but not having it, that can spark some serious creativity.
Absolutely. And how we make memories, how we even show our lives. Memories aren't just about fancy trips. They're about the feeling, the effort behind them.
And, in this age of social media where everything looks so perfect, so polished, it feels like maybe that's the modern version of gluing ourselves onto a scenic background sometimes.
That's a really interesting thought.
So the question maybe is, how do we find that balance between, sharing the highlight reel, the aspirational stuff, and really cherishing those simpler, maybe messier, not so photogenic moments that are actually like deeply meaningful? Something to think about.